Hey y'all, Shane Sams here, host of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. Super excited to be back with you again today to serve another amazing member of the Flipped Lifestyle community. You know, we always look at our forums, we always look at our groups, we always look at our community to see who's asking great questions, who's taking action, and who is experiencing some momentum so that we can jump in and help them right here on the podcast and then share that podcast with everybody who listens so that they can get the benefit as well. And man, we got this great member of the Flipped Lifestyle community. His name's Alan Paul, and he's been taking action. He's been doing great things. And just back on New Year's Day, he launched a membership and he got his first 5 members. So he said, you know what? Hey, there's some momentum. Let's reach out. Let's bring him on the show and let's help him out. And Alan's been doing so many things for free for so long. He's running free Facebook groups. He's running free communities. He's got a free podcast. He's volunteering in his church. He's doing all these things and they've all stacked up on him. And he's not sure where he should spend his time so that he can grow and build momentum and make this thing into a really successful online business. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to go deep into Alan's story, man. We're going to listen to everything that Alan says and that he's doing right now. And we're going to teach him how to, one, say no to a few things. We got some techniques that we use to really, truly prioritize what's important in our online business. Then I'm going to help him plan his day. I'm going to help him plan his week. I'm going to show him exactly how I spend my time in our online business. And I'm going to share all of that with you guys here on today's podcast. As I help Alan take his business to the next level, I'm going to help you take your business to the next level too by showing you how to get control of your time. Really enjoyed my conversation with Alan today. I know you're going to love it too. So let's get started. Welcome to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. We're a real family that figured out how to make our entire living online. And now we help other families do the same. Are you ready to flip your life? All right, let's get started. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you again this week. Super excited to talk to another amazing, awesome, incredible member of the Flipped Lifestyle community so we can help them figure out their next steps, help them overcome their challenges and their obstacles, and move toward that online dream. And I'm excited to introduce today Alan Paul. Alan, welcome to the show.
Shane, it is such an honor. Thank you so much for having me and being a part of the Flip Lifestyle community. This is awesome, and it's such an honor.
Man, you've been active. You've been taking action. We noticed you, and we said, get him on the podcast. Let's talk a little bit about his online business. Let's help him take his next step. So before we get started, give everybody listening to the show some context. Like, tell us about you, tell us about your background, and tell us what brought you to online business and what you're doing now.
Well, thank you so much, Shane. Once again, it's an honor to be a part of this. And, you know, the little elevator speech I have, usually I just say 4 words. I'm a husband, father, I'm a musician, I'm forgiven. So that's the nutshell, right? I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about, you know, what was really important. But obviously, I'm also, you know, a creative coach and an author. I do all these other creative things. I'm kind of like one of those, you know, jack of all trades, hopefully a master of one very soon. Very soon.
That's a good way to say that, man. I've never heard anybody say that before. I'm good at having a jack of all trades. I'm a master of 1 or 2.
Like that's the goal. That's the goal. That's the goal, right? To eventually get
right.
to that point. But yeah, I've been married for 24 years to my lovely little wife, Leah. We have 3 adult kids, which are amazing. And I am, as I said, I'm a musician, been brought up as a musician, pianist, played in church my whole life, pretty much different churches, but, you know, grew up Lutheran, but now in a non-denominational church. Love it. So that's my passion and my ministry. You know, that's probably start with that. I'm very serious about obviously the things of God and things of, you know, just making sure that my faith is at the core of everything. But then on the other side, I'm a creative. I've come through jazz, through my college profession. I got my jazz degree and then taught for a long time. And then I started gigging. And, you know, gigging is, as we were just talking about off air, gigging is a pretty tough lifestyle, living on the road or playing. I play mostly locally. So that's been the second part of my life. You know, it was ministry, and then there was performance. And the third part is the last 5 years or so where I've created this thing called God and Gigs, which was related to both ministry and music. So how was I supposed to navigate this world without losing my mind, losing my soul, losing my sanity? So eventually I ended up writing a book called God and Gigs, which led to a podcast, which led to where we are now, me talking to you about how I can build this membership and create something that people can rely on and find the source of a, balance between all these things that are going on in their creative lives. And it's not just musicians now, it's authors, it's creators, it's poets, it's everybody kind of all in one big boat. And we're just sharing, trying to help them, do the same things I did, which is raise a family, build a career, and again, keep a balance on their lives. So that's me in a nutshell. And I'm just looking forward to sharing more and learning more.
Awesome, man. Hey, let me tell you something. First of all, congratulations on actually writing a book, because I've been sitting down trying to write a book now for about a year, and it's the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. You know what I mean? I don't care about weightlifting goals. I don't care about raising kids. It's hard to write a book and just to get it done.
Absolutely. I'm so blessed that I had an editor to come alongside me. One of my friends, again, is one of these cool things where somebody is in your world, but you don't know what they're gifted at. She's a poet and a teacher. And then she saw me kind of like saying little posters. She's like, "Are you writing a book?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's, "Oh, I edit books, right?" I was like, "Thank you, Jesus." So she came along, and then for a year, I did a Kickstarter, right? But then for a year, she sat down, and every time I sat down with her, Shane, I'm telling you, she's like, why'd you do this? Why? Do what I asked you to do. Write the next thing. Don't come back with 7 other things that you just wanted to add.
Right.
So trust me, she was my guardian angel to make sure that thing got done, or else I would be in the same boat 5 years later. But now
divine appointments are important.
Yes.
They're very, very important, man. Okay, so let me get some context here. Okay, just some follow-ups.
Sure.
So God and Gigs sounds like so you do coaching. You're an author. You have a podcast, and what you're really teaching is like an in it, not of it approach to musicians, right? Like I see that, can you go have gigs? Can you have this music career and not be pulled into lifestyle problems? Like, how do you maintain your relationship with God and your gigs? And it's kind of like a work-life balance, but it's more like a faith work balance kind of deal is what it sounds like.
Yes, no, you nailed it when you said that balance, because what I realized right away, Shane, is that number one, and we can talk about church, right? You and I both. So there was a stigma for a lot of us musicians that, we come in with our pants on fire from Saturday night on church service because of where we were the night before. But it's a job, it's a performance. It's just like, we don't go to people working in Publix or in any other grocery store you name, wherever you are in the world. You don't go to those people and say, "Hey, your boss is an atheist," right? Like, we don't do that.
Right.
We don't do that to any other profession and look at your boss and say, because your boss is doing this, or because you got to work in this environment, that makes you unholy or whatever. And still, there were some musicians in my world that work on some of the biggest tours in the world, Beyonce's, the Justin Timberlake's, and they go to church, right? And they could preach you under the table. So they didn't really need the help on the faith side. They just needed somebody to kind of like see them and recognize them and say, "Hey, you're one of us. You're okay. We'll minister to you if you need ministry." But more, it's not just ministry. It's like you said, work-life balance. And then now I'm talking to some of the other people who are not the Beyoncés of the world. They're just trying to make it in the creative career. And they also need someone to say, "Hey, you can keep your balance. This whole Christian thing helps you. It shouldn't hurt you. It should help you get your career forward." And it's
really a mission field. Right? Like, when we go out in the world, like, I always think that, like, about our brand a little bit. We're about to get a little spiritual here for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to listen up here. But I always think in the entrepreneur world, and I don't want anyone to ever think I'm coming off like Shane and Jocelyn are holy and all this stuff. Like, I try real hard, right?
Yeah.
But we're all human, we're all mistakes. But I kind of view it like that. Like, the entrepreneur world is rife with worldliness, right? Like, materialism to the out of this control level, and success and blah and money. Like, it's like the love of money, man. It's there, right?
Exactly.
But I always view it as, hey, we got to be in this world, this entrepreneur teaching space, if we're going to be able to influence that world at all, right?
Yes.
And that's what musicians have, this incredibly powerful mission field of unreached people in the music world. Like, you need to be playing drums on those stages, because that's where they're going to get. They ain't going to get it from nowhere else. It's just about go get off the stage and don't go to the after party. That's all you got to do, right? But you got to have that balance. You got to have those people going out and doing that. And I think it's an amazing message to tell musicians out there. It's okay to take a job in a secular music space if it's going to pay your bills and make some money, and it gives you a place to go and be a light to the world, man. Do you remember Amy Grant? Remember,
absolutely. I'm old enough to remember. Yes.
I'm just making sure, man. You know what I'm saying? You never know, man. Some of these kids, they don't know about Baby. You know what I mean? Amy Grant. Everybody out there listening right now after this over. Go play some Amy Grant. Like, you remember when she released that secular album
Yes.
with that single. And dude, it was back in the day, man, before Christian music, there was no K-Love or anything like
True.
that,
That's
right?
true. Yeah, you're right. It was before that. You're right.
Yeah, man. And she got destroyed, man. Like, I can't believe you wouldn't, if you didn't say Jesus X times in every song, you're not a real Christian singer. And she's like, I just had an idea for a good song about my husband. Right. Like, and everybody was just freaking out, man, about that. And that's a crazy attitude. I'm glad that attitude has kind of been left in the past a little bit. You know what I mean?
Little bit, yeah. But again, that's why even when I started on this, I made sure I wasn't writing. Or this is kind of like for you. We talk a lot about messaging, right? In the community. I realized I wasn't writing to people to convince them that this was okay. Like I wasn't writing to the churchy people. I wasn't writing to my audience is not, hey guys, Amy Grant should be okay. Hey guys, Martin Luther, the big theologian, drank beer and wrote songs about everything, right? I don't, yep. I don't go back and tell them that, that everything we write in music is, it's got a beat to it and it's got music. Like there's no holy 12 notes. Like it's all music.
That's a great quote.
Yeah, I don't. So I just realized what you just said is that wasn't my audience. Like trying to convince people why what we do is okay. I just wanted to go straight to the people who are already doing it, who already get it, and help them. Because yeah, that's a losing battle. If someone's got in their mind that they're in kind of like that stuck in their ways thing, it was going to be a losing battle, and they would never buy a book. Why would they want to buy a book about that? So
that's exactly right, man.
Yeah,
that's exactly right, dude. You gotta stay in your lane, and not in a like beat you down, like stay in your lane way. Like really pick a lane and like go serve, and that's it. I mean, and don't worry about serving everybody on the planet and everything. Just serve, and you're serving people with your book. You said you're serving people on a podcast, right? So now let's fast forward a little bit. Now that we got some context, tell me where you're at now. Are you doing coaching, like paid one-on-one coaching right now? Is that something you're doing?
I did a couple of beta programs, and obviously the membership was the idea of continuing that and making it a lot better. So I did launch a couple of times where actually, this is kind of like skipping ahead a little bit. I know we're going to talk about this, but actually when I started my master classes / webinars, I got requests. Do you do one-on-one coaching? And it was like,
sure.
I don't want to. Yeah. At first I said that, but then it's like, well, what if I do too much one-on-one and then I defeat the whole purpose of not trading time for money? So kind of like back and forth. The long story is, the short story is I'm not really doing any more one-on-one coaching because I felt like if I jump into that too much, I'm going to end up spending all my time on it.
Yeah. One-on-one coaching for the membership model is interesting. Like people ask me this all the time, like, should I do coaching? Should I do coaching? It's really actually super valuable in the beginning, because even if you just like, you don't do it for the money, you just take one or two, you start figuring out like what people really want. Like, all right, because when someone gives you a couple $100, you get on a call with them a couple times, or you sell a little package, like you start saying, oh man, I could offer that in the membership. Oh man, I could deliver that with video. Oh man, I have 3 people ask me the same question. That means that's probably a course, right? Like it is valuable, especially if you got people trying to give you money to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, don't like, I think the healthy balance there is it's okay to do a couple, because that's not the model you're trying to build. Okay. You're just trying to learn what these members might want, right?
That was really smart. I appreciate that, because that helped a lot with my fear was, oh, if I do one, I can't do the other. If I do one too much, then I won't have time for the other.
Consider it research and development.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing it. We're launching a new program in April of 2021, whenever you hear this, guys. But like, so we're launching this new program. One thing we want to add like true in-person weekly masterminds pods to the community. So like you got the community, then you go to the next level. We have like groups, no more than 8 to 10 people in each group. We have a coach, not a coach. I don't want to call him a coach because it's not coaching. A facilitator. They're going to come on and lead. We're going to lead the mastermind, and it's like for accountability. It's like a life group at church, basically. But within the Flipped Lifestyle community, I don't do coaching. I just don't even really do one-on-one coaching in the community at all. But I started a group back in December, sold it for 6 months. Like I'm committed to them for 6 months. I meet with them every Monday at 5:30. It's 12 people from the Flipped Lifestyle community. And I sold it as, hey, who wants to join a mastermind? I'm going to be in the mastermind. This is going to be a hybrid. There's going to be half coaching from Shane, but there's going to be hot seats. It was just me doing a beta test for 6 months to learn what this feels like before we roll it out. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So I practice what I preach in this one, dude. If I'm going to launch something new, I'm always going to get somebody and do for one what I wish I could do for everyone to learn how I can help everyone. Right.
That's so smart.
On the
So
mass
smart.
level. So, all right, so tell me, all right, so I love the content. You're killing it. That's the first step. You got the podcast out. You got some audience, got some people want some attention. Where are you at on the membership side of things? We have not launched yet. It's not built yet. Like, tell me where the membership is at.
It's launched but not built. That's exactly where I'm at. I think I remember sending you that message through you. You were so kind to reply on the Facebook. It like blew my mind. I think it was New Year. It was New Year's. Yeah, it was New Year's of this year. It's crazy how how fast life is going. So yeah, January 1st, I said, you know what? Before the end of this year, because I joined Flip Lifestyle, I want to say around November 2020, maybe December. And once I saw that I was already close, and I want to throw a little side in here. It's kind of like half shameless plug, half continual coaching. I also had a membership before I joined you, but I wish I hadn't. I wish I had joined before and then launched my other music membership, because I decided midway through 2020 to start a music membership to go along with my live stream concerts. Everybody was shut down, right? The pandemic. So I ended up starting a membership just to try it, and another network. And lo and behold, 12 people paid me a year's worth of concerts in advance. So It's like, oh my gosh, this membership thing works, which led me to, why am I not doing this in God and Gigs, a membership I've had, or a community I've had for 4 years and never tried this. So that's when I said, okay, I have to launch the membership. I've been sitting on this forever. I've had free Facebook groups for years. I've had mastermind groups on Facebook, never tried the membership. So that's when I launched and got into your program and said, 2 weeks, I'm giving myself 2 weeks. I'm going to do this, because again, like we talked about the book, if I don't do it now, I'm going to put it off for like another 6 years. So I went ahead and launched around January, got a couple of members, did a couple of webinars, got a couple more members. So we got about 5 or 6. And here's where I'm at. It's, oh no, they stayed, they bought the trial. Now what?
Right, man. It's a good problem. It's a good problem, dude. Yeah. You got members that are hanging around. That's awesome. You know?
Exactly.
All right. So all right. So I think now we got great background. Again, you've already done more than 90% of people will ever do, like just launching. So people are scared of that launch button, man. They're scared to go live and tell anybody about it. So we got members, we got some paying customers. So let's talk about what is next. Okay. So it sounds like there's a little bit of like, oh no, like some fear, some mindset, some obstacles, something's in front of you now. Like, now what do I do? So like, tell me about those fears. Tell me about those mindset issues. These are usually the actual things holding back. So like, what is holding you back from growing this thing and blowing it up? Because success leaves clues. If you can find one, you can find 101, and you found more than one and they paid you. So so what's going on right now to keep this thing from growing?
I think the main thing is time and focus. The time thing, I realized quickly. I already knew this, again, because I've had the community for years. I've had Facebook years. I know you have to feed the people. You have to give them content. You have to give them something. You have to give them structure. And I'm not going to do the whole, oh, well, I don't have enough time, because I've heard, we've all know that's, same 24 hours. So I get it. I've had to manage running a business, having a ministry, music, raising a family. I've done that for, 20, 25 years. So I get that. It's just that each level requires more. So now the membership, to me, I'm trying to figure out how much do they need and how much do I need to, how much will be required. Number one, obviously the member calls. I've tried that a couple of times. I feel like my onboarding didn't go very well because I didn't get a lot of participation in those member calls. So that was one issue. Obviously the blueprint, as we said, in your blueprint, you told me how to do the blueprint. I didn't start recording it right away because I wanted to see, just like you said, what the people wanted. And it was like, okay, now I got to make time to actually build this. Do I have time to build it? How much do I put into this? How much effort do I need to build to video? And do I need to buy new equipment to make the videos better? It used to be just me and my iPhone. Now it feels like that's not enough. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of this. Okay, do I have enough to sustain this, enough time and resources and energy to really build this? Because there is a little bit of comparison shopping now. Now I am looking at other memberships. Now I am looking at, oh, well, they built this and they have this many programs and this many videos. And I know in my head, that's not what I'm supposed to look at. Yeah. But I am. Like, I'm just,
well, you're looking at what they did, not what you should do. That's always a difference. Never look at somebody where they are and where you're going, because that ain't going to matter, because they weren't there when they started. True. So it's like, man, when you look at somebody, if you look at what I did compared to what I've, and then instead of what I, was doing then, like, it's always bad that way. Comparison gets in.
Yeah. No.
Let me ask you
what's happening.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll give you a cool example of something that just happened in the last little bit. So we're testing this new ad strategy. It's called aggressive acquisition. Okay. And what we're trying to do is we are not looking at does our offer convert. We're looking at how much does it take to make an offer of any kind convert. Like, I don't care. So like it may take me, let's say it takes $150 to get a conversion, right? Like that's how much it costs me to buy a customer. Okay. We would then build our offer in a way where the first month's payment would be that. And now we make our profit off all the other months. So if I have an average of people saying 6 months, that's what it is. But the key is you got to know exactly what it takes to buy that customer. It's not like everybody tries to make ads work like this. I got to get emails as cheap as possible. I got to get clicks as cheap as possible. Yeah. No, you don't. You have to know how much it takes to buy a customer, charge that in the first month, and then serve them so well they stay 6. And now you 6x your money every time you spend some. Right.
That's smart. Yeah.
Okay. So we're just starting to do this. A prominent member, a former member, an alumni of the Flip Lifestyle community, her name is Brooke Castillo. She has a podcast called the Life Coach School. She developed this and kind of worked in the membership world building it. And she actually told us about it, and we were talking to her about it. We actually have a Membership Masters podcast. You want to go back and listen to it and check that out with Brooke.
I did catch that one.
That's one man. Yeah, for sure. She's an amazing woman. And now here's why I say that. I didn't know what we could do that for, because I had always been just playing the email game, get as many emails on the list. I never went straight to purchase to cold traffic. So I didn't know what cold traffic would convert into a member, right?
Okay.
So we just started testing this about 3 weeks ago. And last night we got like 4 purchases or something, and it was like, whoa, it worked. What happened? You know what I'm saying? And all that effort and all that energy and all that was just in there to figure out if that would work. Now, here's the deal, though. My team is spending about 10 hours on this a week. 3 of us are spending 10 hours a week on this strategy, right? We're meeting, we're doing creative, we're asking questions. I'm getting on, I literally sent videos and emails to the people that bought, and I'm like, I want to talk to you for 30 minutes. I'll help you for 30 minutes if you'll tell me why you joined, what ad you saw, why did you take it. I'll just do it. I'm doing what doesn't scale, going one-on-one to find this out, because I need to know. It'll help me get there faster. Okay?
Right. Okay.
But before we started this strategy, we had a what can we stop doing meeting. We had a whole meeting of just okay, if we're going to be deploying 30 hours of our time a week to this strategy, we're going to have to stop doing something else. And now we got our first clue after 3 weeks of testing of our first, we're going to a $300 a month offer right now. Right. Okay. I think it's going to be less than that. We're going to be able to float that price at some point, but we got clues. I immediately put more money there and took money away from other ads, because that was the ad that converted. That was the pipeline that converted. That was the people that converted. So now I'm going to be focusing my attention on talking to those people. But at the same time, we're going to be saying, what can we stop doing? So I would say that principle applies here. We're always throwing mud on the wall at Flip Lifestyle. Jocelyn wants to kill me 90% of the week, right? Because I'm always just trying something crazy, right? I wonder if this will work. And we're just throwing mud on the wall. But I'll tell you this, Alan, when I see something work, I wipe every piece of mud off the wall. And I focus on that mud that's clinging to the place that worked. And I'm a big believer in success leaves clues, and you should just follow the breadcrumbs home. And It seems like to me, with almost nothing inside of it, you've got these people going here. You've got these memberships going here. So this is not a question of what more should I add to my plate. It's a success leaves clues. I've got a path. The membership is working. I need to stop doing something else that's not producing income, that's not growing, I'm not going to scale. And it's just let go of those things. It's just opportunity cost argument, right? Which is you're clearly a guy that can manage gigs and manage his calendar and manage his 168 hours and figure it out. This is just a comparison of this isn't working, this is. Let's go this way for a little while. I can always come back to the things I stopped doing, right? True. But this is the thing that kind of is got some promise. I mean, you've already got members. And if you can just free up, content's not hard for membership. It's Q&As, bring on a guest, bring on a good musician, who's really important and does gigs and stuff, and have an expert guest, kind of like you would on a podcast, but it's at a So your people would get to ask them questions.
Right.
And then in the beginning, yeah, you're not going to be able to get a few members to show up on member calls. That's going to happen when you get to 100 members. You're going to have people every week, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have 15, 20 people show up out of every 100 every week. And it'll rotate who actually shows up based on their calendar. That's just we got to grow. We got to get more members, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. But like, how do we free up time for this? What's not working? Let's just stop. Just stop doing everything right now.
Wow. So, I love this so much. I'm like, I want to be writing. I want to stay on video, but I want to be literally.
I'm recording it. We're going.
Yeah,
thank goodness. Tape. We got
thank
tape.
goodness. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
yes. Because I totally forgot about that. Like, I got to be writing this down. I'm going to forget it all.
Man, I'm going to give you the recording. You get to listen. You're going to get this earlier. Everybody else going to have to wait till May when we roll this out. But you're going to get this one, man. So let's just go to unpack that a little bit. Like, what else are you doing that's not working or could be repurposed or probably isn't relevant to, I have a book. That's basically how I get leads. I have a podcast, and both of those things should point to this membership. Now, what's outside of that circle? What are you doing right now that's outside of that circle that you don't need to go chase right now? Like, is there something on your list that you can let go of or?
Great question. Okay. So this is context. Once again, this is going to sound like excuses. I already hear it. And I've been listening to the podcast, so I know you don't want excuses. I'm like, no, don't say it.
There's a difference between reasons and excuses.
I hope so.
The only problem is for this hour you're with me, I'm the judge and the jury.
I know. So I know nothing's going to sound right in my ears. I'm like, here it goes. But let me just be transparent, right? Authenticity, right? We say, we got to open up. So the issue is right now, like I said, it is, one is I was blessed to be brought on. I was part-time, as I mentioned, at my church, working all the time. I was blessed. Now I am also doing office hours. I am going to be helping them with the podcast. My pastor looked at me, said, you're building something, help the church do it. So that got added without knowing. God kind of said, bloop, let's see what you can do with this as well. So it's like an additional blessing, but also additional time taken out. Second thing, you mentioned what I could take out. I do believe I am the social stuff, like focusing so much on trying to run so many things, posting about ads, posting about gigs, posting about this. Like, I feel like I'm on that treadmill that you're not supposed to get on. I'm on it and I'm behind it. Now the treadmill's running over me. So I do feel like that's what I mentioned. I think I put in the questionnaire. Is it time for me to get help? Do I need to get a VA? Do I need to think about offboarding some of these tasks? Because it's like, well, I'm not making money yet.
Yeah.
But the thing that's really taking all the time is the running of the business instead of thinking about the business and work. You know what I mean? Like working the business. I'm in that treadmill right now. And
you might be, this might be a system problem, not a hiring problem. All right, let's back up for just a second. Tell me about these free Facebook groups. We're extremely valuable for leads and community and audience. Give me some information on how big it is, how many of them there are, and what you're actually doing in there.
Okay.
Because that might be a place that we could just be like, we'll just steal all that time back,
Yeah, the Facebook group, I actually used to have two. And again, I think I feel like now maybe I was on the right track because I had two. I had a mastermind and a free one.
Okay.
Well, as I say, Matt, they were both free, but obviously the mastermind was supposedly people who were more customers, like my inner circle.
Right.
I started saying, okay, that one is the one that needs to be a membership. That's the one where the people have invested in me before, and I need to kind of give that up. So I'd already given that up, but I then started to try to build the bigger one. Start inviting more people, start posting every once in a while, do a What's Working Wednesday, post in there and try to get that going. And so that does take some of my time in my mental space, probably more mental than time. Yeah. So I'm trying to get people in there and I'm rejecting these people and accepting these people. And then every time I don't post for a couple of days, it's like, I got to get back to the free membership because they're supposed to be the funnel going into the membership eventually. So that one is more like a mental space where I'm not taking the focus totally off my stuff, but I am kind of trying to say, okay,
it's a stealer. It's a thief.
Where does it
doesn't
fit?
Need that focus if you could get it right, basically.
Right. Yes, that's the point. Yeah. Like I want things that are self-sustaining and I want the people to be posting clearly. And I want to pop in every once in a while and say, hey guys, by the way, 360, the membership name that I'm building is 360, the paid membership. So I'm like, Facebook should be the funnel toward that. Obviously, it seems to me that would be where those people would go.
How many hours are you spending in that group a week, do you think? Be honest. Think about it.
I am thinking, yeah, it's hard. It's at least 3 or 4 hours when I can. Again, my schedule's crazy right now, so I can't even really name that time, because it's more, again, it's like I probably don't get anything done. That's probably what it is. I'm there, but it's like I'm scanning and trying to fix stuff, and it's not even really like effective time. So I
So
can't even really put a
I would
number
say
on it.
this.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the rule. We have to figure out some way. All right, let's just say it's 3, which is probably actually 5 if you're saying it's 3. Like if you really like we're all like, none of us, like, social media is weird. Like it works in a different time
it's a
warp.
vortex. Exactly.
It's a vortex, man. So like it's probably, let's say it's 3, but it could be up to 5, right? So you're talking 12 to 20 hours a month. Right. If you just said, I'm only going to spend 1 hour a week in this group, and we create a system that makes that possible. All right. Like, so maybe you just have theme days, that you do certain things on certain days, and you take an hour and you just schedule all the posts, and then you are out. Maybe 1 week is scheduling and 1 week is pruning. That's what I call it, where you delete posts and kick people out and add people in and whatever. Right. But you just say, like, it's like a football field. Like in America, we play on a field that's 100 yards long with 2 10-yard end zones, and the field is 53 1/3.
Right.
We have to have 7 people on the line, and you can only have one person in motion going side to side. That's our game. That's the game we're playing. That's the parameters. We can now build the plays within that parameter. But in Canada, there's a 20-yard end zone. The field's wider, and them crazy people can run straight toward the line of scrimmage full speed. Like it's a totally different game. The plays are going to look different. Everything's going to be the same. But the bottom line is they set the rule.
Yeah.
And that's what all of us have to do with our time. And especially with social media is, no, I only have an hour. I'm only going to give it an hour, period. Okay. Now we have to figure out what that looks like. This is the harder part of the question. Setting the rules easy, figuring out what plays work is hard. Right.
Yeah.
But that's okay. If we say I'm doing this, it's going to be Monday morning at 8 o'clock to 9:30 over coffee, period. And it's over. It changes the game of what you can do in the group. You got to let go everything you've ever done in the past. The new plan's not going to look the same. And let me tell you something. All them people in your Facebook group ain't going to know the difference. They're not paying near as much attention as you are. I promise.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
you're a blip in their feed. So like, this is cool. We could probably create something that would serve them better and more strategic and more repeatable and more schedulable if we did it that way. Now, when we do that, look what happens immediately. Let's just say that we're going to give it that 1 hour every Monday morning over coffee or whatever. Sunday night. It doesn't matter when you do it. But like, you're going 1 hour. Well, you now have 8 hours to serve your members. It's over. Like, that's it. Like, now you have 8 hours a month to, all right, I'm going to add a course every month. I'm going to do a live call every month. I'm going to do my 2 Q&As every month. And now we've got content coming out every month. We got a guest coming on every month. You just took back the time from the free people who weren't giving you money. Right? Yeah,
exactly.
So that's it, man. It's over. Like, so you're still doing both. You're still growing your Facebook group. We're just thinking about how to do it differently. Right. And now you've got 8 hours that you've stole back that you can put into your community. And all you have to do is probably make one nice talking head piece of content. You look great right now. You might want to throw a light behind that computer screen or whatever you're looking into.
Okay.
That's it, man. You probably need a little bit more lighting, get something $50 on Amazon. It's over. Right.
Gotcha.
That's it. You're good. You sound great. Your audio is crystal clear. And it's really just, you show up and teach. You show up with a guest. Maybe you have a special guest for members only, and it's a members only Q&A, right?
Right.
You do your Q&As, and you just give people these opportunities. Maybe it's an hour Q&A, then you take back 2 of those hours just for checking forums every week, right?
Yeah.
But you stole all that time back, man, and it's good.
No,
you didn't have to make any more time. Didn't have to give up anything else.
It makes so much sense. And again, it's one of the things that's, you hear it and it's like, this is what I knew I should have done that. And it's just actually applying it, like applying that discipline to what a lot of, again, it's like good for great, right? I can't, I got to exchange one for the other. It can't be good and great. It has to be, the good has to go away. Good was taking all this time, like you said, on the free stuff. Thank God I have the Instagram and all that kind of stuff working where I have kind of schedulers, but I still spend a lot of time trying to keep the look versus serving the people that you're talking about. Like you just said, they actually gave me money. It's a no brainer when you say it like that.
Well, but you know what though? I went to a workshop this weekend. I paid almost 10 grand to be in a room. Actually, I probably did by the time you take in travel costs. And I was in, it was like 8 hours each day, like hardcore, right? I knew it. There was nothing that was taught in there that I didn't know, but it was awesome to be told like, hey, we need to focus here. and to see other people doing it. And
Yeah.
then it becomes crystal clear. That's why we're in this together. Like you need to know what to do, but you just needed like someone else to confirm it, maybe to give you permission. Right. And that's all I'm ever looking for when I do this all the time. I'm like, should I do this? And I'm just looking for like, yeah, I probably should, but it's good to have a community and a place you can reach out and get some help.
Precisely.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But I'll tell you this, dude, like if I'm looking at like service in my whole grand scheme of things, like, I only do 3 things in this business. Like we have some people helping us make these things happen, but just in general, I look at my list and I'm like, okay, I need to podcast to get audience. I need to share that podcast to get new audience. I need to email my list to tell them about my membership. That's the business plan. That's it. Now, that's my football field, right? So when we get something that shows up that sounds like a good idea, like Clubhouse, I'm like, I'm sure Clubhouse is great, but unfortunately, Clubhouse would have to replace the podcast because I don't have time to do Clubhouse right now. We might do it later if it proves itself,
Yeah.
But I'm just not going down a rabbit hole. Like when, what was that thing that came out? There was another social media thing. All these things that have come out, Snapchat and this and Periscopes. I'm like, I just look at it, I'm like, okay, what's it going to replace? And is it going to beat this? Is Periscope is Snapchat going to beat emailing? I can't do it right now. Can we automate it? Can we delegate it? Maybe. Then we're just buying other people's hours at that point, right? Yeah. So like, even if I had Clubhouse, I would just probably hire someone to do Clubhouse for me and show up every once in a while or something, Like, I don't know. And I'm not saying that flippantly. I'm just saying like, it has to prove itself.
No, it makes perfect sense. And again, that's why I love the fact that you're telling me, even in terms of additional things that can steal my time, I'm already dealing with that without these additional things. And now, it's like that little thing where Clubhouse is where all the people are. And this is happening. And I totally get it, because there's nothing, the fact that there's, I did a couple of Clubhouses, perfect example. I did a couple. I have to. Seemed like people did respond. I did get people in DMs. I did get Instagram people, but I don't know if those people are going to become customers. And that's the big thing right now that I need to focus on. I need customers to be happy with the product. I don't want to get cancellations. I don't want to get all that stuff when people say, well, you promised this, but then I didn't see you in this place.
Yeah.
But because I was spending time trying to get more, it's like, again, like the bird in the hand, two in the bush thing. Mm-hmm. To me, that's absolutely what I'm hearing. Like, no, trust me, you're like a voice from Moses. Say, hey, guys, like, guys, remember this thing that I taught you? Like,
that's great. I know y'all got impatient, but you're getting manna, and look at the stones. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Right. Come back to what you already know.
Yeah. I go back to this. Like, I always think, and this was something that we had to do, like, and like, it's like 33, 33, 33, 1. 33, 33, 33, 1. Like I've got only so much time, but I have to think about the time for my family. I got to think about the time for myself. I got to think about the time for my community. And then I got this like 1% where I can just do whatever I want. You know what I mean? But like, I have to pick what goes in those buckets. And like, you can't always pick other things. And like, and also to us, like quantity over quality. Like, if I show, like I did I started doing this thing for the Facebook group. I really sat down about 2 weeks ago and I said, I've got to get some time off my plate, because we've got, we're starting to do live events like with this company in July. And it's going to take, I'm going to be on the road 3 times a month. Right. So I had this little quality over quantity checkpoint in everything that we're doing. And I'm like, okay, I am not going to be able to get into the forums as much as I am right now. Jocelyn can, because she might not be on the road. Right. But like, I can't. So how can I serve the community in a more efficient way? So I started doing these little 10-minute website audits. Right. I just I just look if somebody posts a sales page or something in the forums. Carrie, my assistant, will send it to me and hit use Loom, record a 10-minute video, share it in the Facebook group, share it in the forums. Everybody sees it. Right.
Yeah. So
like now, and then we had a guy the other day that watched me go through a homepage real quick, just like, yeah, I think you should move this, move that, red button here, blue button there, whatever, just going through it. He got, in the month before he saw that video, he got 2 emails in his opt-in list. In the 2 days after he changed everything from the video, he got 28. Wow. And like it wasn't even, I don't think it was his page. He just watched me do another video. So like, I'm just thinking of ways to scale my service.
Yeah.
And that's what you're gonna be able to do, especially on the free side. Like that, that free side, man. God bless everybody out there. I'm always going to inspire you. I'm always going to encourage you. I'm always going to do this. I'm always going to do that. And I love every one of you. But let me tell you something. I'm serving the people that give me money. You know why? Because they're paying attention, and they're going to actually take action on it. And I love y'all out there to keep listening to Flip Lifestyle Podcast, but you need to get in the community if you want some service, because that's where the people give me money. That's what puts food on my table. So if you put food on my table, I'm going to do everything I can to help you put food on your table.
Yeah. No, it's all about that principle. Our pastor's been talking about this Proverbs and seeds and harvesting.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that rings again as wise confirmation for me, because these are people who actually put their money where their mouth is. Mm-hmm. Like, they didn't just watch, they didn't just like an Instagram. They actually said, I'm going to watch this thing. I told them it's a pre-sale, essentially a beta pre-sale. I said, I don't have the blueprint up yet. It's going to be just member forum and Q&A.
And they bet on you.
The time being. And they bet on me. So they deserve to have the absolute best of my service at this point, because they are the ones investing in themselves. And like I said, again, it's just perfect confirmation, because I didn't hear the words the way you said it, although I kind of felt it in the back of my head. This isn't right. This isn't right. Like this, they should be getting the best of me, not the 7,000 other things that are going on right now that are pretty inertia. Good. Yeah.
You got so much inertia. Like you're like trying to stop that big rock with a rope behind it, right? Of what you always have done. And you feel like you've promised to those people, but then this new thing came on. So now you got to stop that rock and then roll another rock, basically.
Yeah. Almost let go of the rock. Just let it roll by itself and just
go on to that's a better analogy. That's a better analogy. Yeah, man. And that's hard though, man. It really is. And like, because I think as humans, we're all like, you want to, especially with integrity, like in Christians, like you want to keep your word, and you want to you want to keep what you think's your word, right? I remember we did a small group at church, man, for like 2 years one time. And I remember for like 6 months, I wanted to stop leading it. I just felt like it had run its course, and I had served where I wanted to be served, and I wanted to go do something else. But it was so hard to say that out loud to all these people, but then you just turn it over to somebody else who is now fired up where you were 2 years ago. And then that group splits into two, and they double their member, now there's 2 groups of 20 or whatever. Yeah.
And that's the coolest thing. That's actually something in my book that somebody said to me. One of my mentors for God and Gigs, his name's Trent. He's Donnie McClurkin's MD, has been on every gospel every gospel album you name. You're probably going to see his name. And he said that if you don't move out of that sphere that you're in, no one else will move into it. You have to make the space.
That's deep.
And trust me, I love these guys. Like, these are my mentors, the guys that have done kind of like, just gone ahead. Maybe they didn't make a membership, but they've done everything else. So I'm following their footsteps on how to build a business and how to think that way. And absolutely is the hardest thing, like you said, to move out of something that's comfortable into something that's uncomfortable. So someone else can get, hey, you may not feel ready for this new position or whatever it is that you're taking on. For me, it probably is like the social media, or maybe it's playing, church every Sunday or whatever. It could be anything that I'm doing right now. But I realize that season is shifting. My kids are grown. You know what I mean? It's like, it's this new season. And now I got to make space for them to go through the same thing I went through, which is, oh my gosh, I'm being elevated. And I have no idea what to do next. Yeah. Neither did I.
Right. No, none of us do. And exactly. I hate to tell everybody listening, I still don't know what I'm doing half the time. I'm just, I mean, you just wake up every day and you don't know what's coming when you're a business owner, man. And you're like, that's new. What do we do here? And you ask like 5 people, and they're like, I don't know what to do. Then I'm like, all right, I guess we'll just do something and we'll figure it out as we go. And that's, but it's so weird. Like, I think it's like the more you let go, the better things are. It's so funny. We think we got to do everything. And like, I always just get back to, I actually have on my schedule today, now that these ads are kind of kicking, we're like, whoa, like I'm going to go, I have a block of schedule on my calendar today to think about everything we're doing.
Okay.
What are we going to let go of right now? Because now that we got something, where are we going to stop spending money so we can put more money in these ads? So I'm looking through everything, like trying to cut costs and try to put more money into the ad cost. Right. So like, man, it's just like, whenever you let go of one thing, man, the other thing just kind of grows bigger than it ever could if you were just like pouring water on both plants, So you just got to keep doing it, man. So let me ask you this. Your business question might've changed here. It says, I see the potential, but I need to structure and build out my content, solidify my new model for existing community to convince them they should be members. My biggest question is, how do I manage all my new efforts? But I think you kind of killed that, man.
Like we went there without even realizing it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is literally like just like I said, like it was like scripted. Like it's like, how could this possibly be exactly what I needed to hear? And it's exactly that. I think.
Well, maybe we should talk about what you should do.
Yeah.
And have a bulleted list of like, okay, I've got members. What would, I mean, I'll just tell you what I would do right now. And then you can go back and look at your calendar and all that stuff and figure out.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
So like, I mean, the thing that the first 100 members are hard, right? Once you get some momentum, that usually stabilizes between 50 and 100 and you just always stay above it, right? Because you're only needing to add, like, if you lose 10, you get 11 and you're fine. You're still growing, right?
Okay.
So the first 100 is like the weirdest, hard, easy-ish thing in the world, right? So when I get members, what I would do is I would focus on the content that's building the audience. That would get a huge part of my time. Probably half my time I spend on the business is on podcasting, right? Because I know that that's the gasoline for the engine, right?
Yeah.
So that gets about half my time, right? And then about 30% of my time probably goes into serving the community, right? Because what's cool about having a membership is you're going to get the same questions over and over. You're going to get the same requests over and over. And you're going to start seeing these weird patterns over the first year of your membership, like where you're like, I've answered the rule. If you've answered a question 3 times, it's a course, straight up. Because then the answer to that question becomes go here. Link. Right. So like, that's what you're looking for now, are like these conversations. Like maybe it probably is time to not do one-on-one coaching and go to your members and get one-on-one conversations with them. So you're not relying on those group things.
I love that, what you said earlier. And it's exactly that. You said, go directly to those 4 or 5 people who have already joined and just say, you get my attention. Because what I think what I was struggling with is creating this community dynamic, which it worked, by the way. Let me just quickly back up. I did small groups, just like you were talking about, but with my members, I did local, back when we could be in the same room, before COVID. Mm-hmm. So I used to do that. And I had, what I called spiritual sheds, and the musicians would all get together, and I thought they wanted to jam and they just wanted to talk. Like they wanted this time to say exactly what you're saying. And they basically laid out my book. They laid out all the content because they said it out loud. Here's what we're dealing with.
That's right.
So now that it's digital, again, you're already echoing what I realized, I should be doing that same thing with those individual people. And it doesn't matter how much time it is. Like, I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay. Right now, you're just a community. A lot of times, think about your church or your community. You're never with the whole group, except maybe on Sunday morning for an hour, right? You're always meeting coffee with Bob. You're always having lunch with Fred. Like that's what community really is. It's like a collection of individuals who, over a space of time, meet individually and are connected to each other in a network, right? Yeah. So that's all you're doing right now is like treat. I don't care what they're paying you a month. I don't care if it's $10, $20, $100. Right now, those are one-on-one clients until you get to like 20 or 25.
Got it.
And you're just trying to spend, most of your time serving your community, helping them, but also learning what they want so you can automate 80% of it. Like right now, ask me anything about online business from a technical standpoint. Like, just ask me something about running a membership, sales funnels, email list. It's some simple question like, how do I set up whatever,
Right. Like, okay. How do I, right. Yeah. You just said it. How do I set up a opt-in? How do I set up my opt-in for my sales page?
I got a course for that. Go here, click here, watch this. Yeah. But you didn't know it. You didn't know it was in there. So I just sent you a link. Right.
Right.
And then like, if you got a question, bring it back to the forums. We'll answer that one too. Right.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, doing this for 6 years, I've heard about every question. They're all in there. Like, you can't go anywhere else. We got over 2,000 recorded, answered questions, individually edited out into individual questions and organized in playlists where if I don't care if it's in the blueprint anymore right now, because the Q&As have stacked up so high, like there is not a question you can probably ask that we don't have somewhere where we've answered it.
But you said it at the beginning, which is why I had to tell myself not to do that comparison thing.
I didn't have it then when we started.
But you see it, and I'm in there, and I'm like, this is amazing. This is exactly what my people need too. It's like, right. I can't.
It's what your people will have. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. You're in the wilderness right now, man. You're marching your people to where they need, right? That's where you are. But like, you got it. That's going to build over time. But that database built through 2,000 one-on-one conversations. Like
Got it.
every question is a direct question someone has asked us. Like that's the only reason the video gets made. And then we can group them together if we answer them over time into different groups and things like that. But, you know, the first member call, we had 0, you know, and I just sat there and said, all right, those are 20 questions we'll never have to do again, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. No, like I said, it's so comforting. I tell you, like, I tell this all the time again in my individual conversations, you know, and you said it yourself, judging people where they are versus where they came from. It's like, it's so comforting to say, you know what, you started with 0, you started with 10, you started with 20, you started with 50. And, you know, to me, look at my 10, or like I said, my other membership, I didn't even expect anybody to buy that. And now it's like they hung on for a year. No, maybe I started like August, September, I don't remember that other membership started, but it's just the core people. And again, like you said, now I can say, oh, it worked for 6 months. I'm okay. It's like, it didn't crash. They like watching me play music. They like the piano thing. I don't have to change everything. That kind of served that audience. And I'm not worried anymore. And it's the same thing what you're saying. It's like,
it'll get there.
The more you say it, the more it's like, oh, once they feel comfortable and they see their questions being answered, I'm not going to have this fear of, oh, I need to make something else. I need to make something else. I need to make something else to satisfy a need that probably doesn't exist. Like, I think it exists, but I haven't talked to them right. So yeah, it's totally.
I'll give, so that's 50% is on, 50% of my thing is spent on thinking about building audience.
Okay.
Getting it. Now that's going to involve different things. Like for me, that involves networking. Like I connect with influencers and people, and I buy people's trainings all the time just to get on their radar. And like, you know, it might be a recording podcast or guesting or just however we build audience. 30% goes indirectly to the membership. Like I know for sure, like I've got 2 90-minute blocks for Q&As on my month every month. Those are gone before the month starts because I'm serving the community. I know I'm going to spend, you know, at least 30 minutes a day, probably just getting in the community and finding that one person I can help. Right. And then, you know, so that's about 30% serving members. Now I've hybrid this a little bit. Like I'm serving you right now. You're a member of the Flip Lifestyle community. Absolutely. So we figured out a way to create content with our members. So that gives me a little extra play there, right? If I can't, I know at least I can help you and I can share this with everybody. I've served you as a member, but it's also content that's going to grow audience. So we're always looking for overlap where we can save a little time.
Yeah, for sure. Man.
And then that last 20% is just direct marketing, like promotions, like emailing the list, making an ad, like direct marketing. Like we've got to get out there and we got to spend some money and roll up our sleeves and open our wallet to market to people, you know? So like, that's how you should think about your time. Like is how you can do that. Like, you know, how am I going to grow the audience, serve my members? Cause retention is how you start making real money, is keeping people. Right. And then just direct marketing, like true marketing, down the rabbit hole, sales funnels, improving conversion, looking at your data. But that doesn't take a lot of, you know, that part. I think people flip that. A lot of people will be like, I got to spend, you know, 50% of my time with my members. No, you don't, because you're going to record courses that are going to answer the same questions you answer over and over and over again. Right. You're going to organize a path that's going to be off your plate. Right. Yeah. And then the audience is the hardest part. But that usually is just what you do, and you just do the work, right? That's digging the ditch. And like, think about Jesus. We're just preaching today, man. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I couldn't help it.
Listen, think about the disciples and Jesus. Sermon on the Mount. He sat down and spoke all day, right? Well, daggone, he spent half his time walking to the Mount. He wasn't there. Like most of his time was walking there and people following him and building the audience.
You know what? Why? And people see, why do people ask? Well, when the first thing he showed up after was like, do you have anything to eat? Of course,
man, I'm hungry. I'm tired. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. You know, so he spent half his time getting there. Then he had then he preached to the followers. Right. That was the day. Right. But it might take him a week to get to the Mount.
Exactly.
You know, and then he's got about 20% of the time sitting around telling everybody where to go next. Yeah. Right. That's the marketing. So I mean, this is not hard. It's just, it's simple, not easy. Right.
It's the application. Absolutely. It's application. And again, like, thank God I'm here in front of my computer and I can immediately start seeing, you know, just like when you did in the Flip Lifestyle, the 168 hours, the audit, exact same thing. I looked at it before. Obviously, it looks, again, totally different. Just 2 months ago, it was totally different. Now it's like, oh my gosh, you got to do
that thing every month, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I do that. I still, whenever I feel stressed, as soon as I feel stress coming. So there's a course inside the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint. We call it the 168-hour audit. And like you basically say, I have 168 hours in a week. Where are they being spent?
Right.
Dude, that's my fallback plan for 8 years. Like, okay, I'm messing something up. I should not be stressed out. I should not feel like I've got too much on my plate. I'm going to look back at the last week, hour for hour. When did I sleep? When did I spend time with Isaac? When did I spend time with Anna? When did I spend time with Jocelyn? When did we work together? When did I have team meetings? When did I record podcasts? What happened to make me so stressed out right now? You got to constantly be on top of that, or it'll creep. Because we always feel like we should be doing more.
Yep. That's my life. Yep.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Love it.
Yeah, man. So, all right. So let's we're going to go keep going down the rabbit hole.
I know. Pull it back.
You know, I think for you, man, the next 24 hours, dude, I would just encourage you to say, like, what have I done in the past? What got me here? Look at all those things. Just jot them down on a piece of paper, bulleted list. Don't get into the hours yet. Just jot it all down and just be like, what's going to get me over there? And if one of those things ain't going to get you to the next level, you know, leave the ladder behind and just throw up another rope and just keep climbing the mountain, right? But you don't got to bring that ladder. That 10-foot ladder ain't gonna get you up the 20-foot cliff. You might as well leave it behind, right?
Got it. Yep.
And just try to say no to a bunch of things, and then re-audit yourself on the hours and focus on the things that matter. Focus on growing audience, however you do it, which is a podcast. Focus on serving your members, which you have members. Reach out to those people, give them your Voxer account or something and talk to them one-on-one just for them. And you can eventually cut that off, and then focus on marketing and you'll lay it back out and it'll start growing, you know?
Perfect. I cannot wait to get to it. And yeah, this was literally like, you know, God sent exactly what I needed to hear, and can't wait to implement this stuff. And now I'm going to get to the Success Forum and tell them all how everything works. So I can, again, like encourage somebody else. Cause that's what I think is amazing about your community. It's I've already seen it work in other communities where I've been close up, and then being a part of yours, I just saw you guys, and, you know, it's like, okay, something clicks, this is my tribe. Doesn't look doesn't look the same, doesn't feel the same. Like you said, it's different, right? But I knew even then I has been listening to a bunch of people, the Pat Flynn's of the world that I respect and you respect, and that help you get, but I can't get the Pat yet. But I could get the Shane, and I can see it, and I can follow his blueprint right away.
The what I'm most proud of more than anything else in what we build, like I mean, you know, like we're constantly trying to make this thing better and better and better.
Yeah.
But like, you know, my community got better as I stepped back, as we got more content, as we got more things in there, and let the community really unite together. Right. And the people that make up Flip Lifestyle, man, we really are just a bunch of family focused entrepreneurs from around the world who are trying to build better family trees, right? You know, we're not chasing Lamborghinis and all that. Now we can get them. I promise you, Brooks got a Lamborghini or something. She made 35 million last year, right? There's a lot of people killing it in the Flip Lifestyle community, but man, we're all doing it for like the right reasons, and the people really make it. I remember at the last live event we had before the pandemic started. Hopefully next year we'll be able to have Flip Your Life live again, so we can all get together for the Flip Lifestyle family reunion. But we basically had a working dinner one night, right? And me and Jocelyn, you know, we're up on stage all day, and like being on stage is weird. Because like people, if you step up higher than people and start talking, it's weird, right?
Oh yeah,
like,
I know.
So you get, I mean, you know, being a musician, man, people just look at you different. And you know, but what was cool was all day on stage, all day doing our thing. Everybody's having a great time. We go back to the room to freshen up for dinner, and when we're going to come down, and we were going to go around, we had tables set up like for you need help with your website, you need help with your sales funnel. And we had like members of the community who were like table leaders, and they were talking about certain topics and all this. And it was just all community members though. Nobody paid, nobody famous, nobody nothing.
Right.
And you know, we went downstairs and we walked in. Alan, nobody noticed. Nobody noticed that me and Jocelyn were there for about an hour. Right. Like it was just like nothing. And like everybody was just so into their people and their community and connection. And like, and I just looked over at Jocelyn. I said, this is what we set out to build. Right. It's not about Shane and Jocelyn, even though we're just the leaders, but like, it's not about us. It's about them. It's about each other. And if you do that in your community will thrive and it'll sustain itself. So, and I got a feeling that you're going to blow it up. I got a feeling that we're going to be bringing you back on in about 12 months. And you're going to say, bro, I got 200 members. This is crazy. What am I going to do with it, man? You know? So
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be working hard toward it, but I believe it. Yep. I'll receive that.
Awesome, man. All right, man. Listen, thank you so much for being here on the podcast today and being transparent. I know sometimes it's hard to come out here and get grilled by me for an hour. But I told you I had a few extra minutes today. I didn't have another podcast. I was going to run over, so we just ran over a little bit. But man, hey, thank you for serving the community today. Somebody out there is going to learn from this. Somebody out there is going to do something, and somebody's going to go launch their membership too, just because you were willing to have a conversation. So I appreciate you, man.
It's my honor and my pleasure. And again, if I can serve by being served, you served me and you've helped me immensely. So if that example can help somebody else, then I've done my part. That's all I care about as well. So thank you again, Shane, for letting me be a part of this.
Oh, what a great conversation I just had with Flipped Lifestyle community member Alan Paul. Man, Alan did a great job there, and we went deep in his business. Had a few extra minutes today, so he got a little extra time off my clock. But I'm super excited about the plan that we created for Alan, the plan that he's going to go execute and see a lot of success in his newly launched online membership community. You know what we say, if you can find one, you can find 101, but you can't find one until you start, build, and launch an online business of your own, until you get that membership out into the world and you let people join it. And that's what we do every single day inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. Just like we helped Alan launch his membership, just like we helped Alan grow his membership, we'd love to help you do the same. It doesn't matter if you know where to begin. It doesn't matter if you understand anything about online business. The Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint inside of our community will show you how to build a successful membership step by step. You know, everybody that comes into the community starts at zero. They got to get that first member, that second member, that fifth member, that 100th member before they can ever grow into the amazing success stories that we've seen in the community. You don't get 1,000 members until you launch and get one. And we'd love to help you launch and grow a membership community of your own. The Flipped Lifestyle community is a place for real people, family-focused entrepreneurs who want to start, build, and grow successful membership sites. All you need is 100 people paying you $50 a month to make $60,000 a year, or 200 people to make $120,000. It's all possible inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. So whether you're just starting out or whether you've got members and you're ready to grow, we have a plan that's perfect for you. And you can always join the Flipped Lifestyle community in your first month for free. That's right. We're so confident in our program. We give it away for the first 30 days. So you can get inside, you can look around, you can start the process, you can kick the tires, you can hang out with us on member calls, and you can start taking action toward making your online dream a reality. All you have to do to check out everything we have inside the Flipped Lifestyle community is go to flippedlifestyle.com/free. That's FLIPPED lifestyle.com/free. And you can start your 30-day free trial today. Look, you can keep listening to the Flipped Lifestyle podcast. We're so grateful for that. But until you go in and start, you're never going to get any closer to that dream. So stop dreaming about it and start doing it. We are here to help you every step of the way, and we can't wait to see you inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. Hey, before I get out of here today, I wanted to share a can't miss moment with you. These are little moments that Jocelyn and I are grateful for and thankful for, and would not happen if we did not have our own online business. If we had not put in the work and the energy and the investment to become and stay self-employed as online entrepreneurs so many years ago, we'd be doing something grinded for somebody else. We'd be busy with other parts of our life, and we wouldn't be able to sit back and enjoy these amazing moments, these amazing blessings that we call can't miss moments. This morning, as I was getting up and getting ready to start my day, I decided that I wanted to read a little bit. I just want to sit back and take about an hour or so to enjoy this amazing book I'm reading right now from Brian Moran. It's called The 12-Week Year. And our kids went back to school this week. It was the first week back from the pandemic. They're finally getting to go to school. So we're all tired. We were exhausted. And I just needed a day where I wasn't getting up at 5 a.m. and I wasn't hitting the ground running and running around with my hair on fire, trying to accomplish big dreams and big goals. I wanted to just take a break. So I decided this morning, I'm not doing anything till 12 o'clock. So I got to go talk to Alan on that podcast. I'm not doing a thing. And I decided I wanted to spend my time reading this book. So it was about, 9 o'clock before I finally rolled out of bed, went and took a shower and just took a nice relaxing stroll to the kitchen and made some coffee and about 10:30. And, I went back in my room and I got one of my dogs to come with me. I got a little dog named Duncan. And man, I love that dog. He's so happy and so full of energy, and he just wants to sit right. He can't sit by you if he's not leaning on your leg. And that makes me feel good, feel warm and fuzzy inside. And I went back to our bedroom. We've got this big bay window in our bedroom, and it looks out across our lake. And man, the sun's shining. We just had a couple weeks of bad weather, but the sun was out today, not a cloud in the sky. And I put on my noise canceling headphones, but I invested in noise canceling headphones during the pandemic because my kids were here all the time. So I had to shut them out a little bit to get some work done. But I put on my noise canceling headphones and put on some of my favorite music, classical instrumental music, just to relax. And I looked outside. My dog was laying there leaning on my foot. And I just sat there and read, for about an hour. And then I got up and came over here to record the podcast today. But I was just so grateful this morning to have the choice of what I wanted to do, to have the choice of what I wanted to work on, to have that blessed, calm, relaxing moment at 11 o'clock on a Wednesday. If I was doing anything else out there, I'd probably wouldn't be able to make that choice. And I was just so blessed that our online business provides that opportunity, that can't miss moment for me anytime that I want it. And that's what we want for you. We want you to be able to experience more of those can't miss moments as well. That's why we work so hard to help every member of our community succeed online. All right, guys, we are about out of time today, but before we go, we love to share a Bible verse at the end of each Flipped Lifestyle podcast. Jocelyn and I get a lot of our inspiration and motivation for life and business. You would not believe how much stuff about business and life in that good book. And we love to share a verse that's impacted us every single week. But today, I'm going to let Alan share a verse. He's bringing a life verse that inspires him, and it's going to inspire you too. So Alan, take it away. Let us know your Bible verse and why it's important to you.
Well, Shay, this has been one of my favorite verses for years. Obviously, everything in the Bible, since I run God and Gigs, it's obviously something that means a lot to me, the Word of God. But this verse personally has meant so much. It's Psalm 25, verse 10. And in the NIV, I think it says, "All the ways of the Lord are loving and faithful toward those who keep the demands of his covenant." And there's only one word, Shane, that matters to me in that entire passage. It's the plural, all the ways. Because I have been all over the place in my life, and it's just so encouraging to know that God, yes, there's only one way, maybe, the way, the truth, and the life, but God is also aware that there's multiple paths, multiple ways that we're going to go off and on and off and on, and He has been loving and faithful to me all that time. So that's what means the most to me. I remember that every time things get a little crazy, that's okay. All the paths, all the ways, plural, of the Lord are full of mercy. They're loving and they're faithful, and He's always got my back. So that's what I really love about that verse.
Amen, man. Good verse. Good verse. All right, guys, that is all the time we have for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you have not left us a review on iTunes, man, that really helps us get the word out and help more families out there change their life. So make sure if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts that you go over and leave us a 5-star review. Tell us what you love about the show so that we can really make this thing grow and help as many families as possible flip their lives with online business. We'll be back here with our next episode. Until then, get out there, take action, and do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Oh no, did we just crash?
No, can you see me?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Here.
Hold on. For some reason, my Chrome, there you are. A Chrome browser just popped up and said, "Warning." And I was like, now what? I fixed everything and then it broke again.
None of those viruses. No, we don't need any of that craziness popping up.
No, I don't need nothing right now. No, I need nothing. Yeah. Nothing dangerous. One more thing before we go. Thank you so much for listening to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. If you love the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, if we bring a little joy and a little happiness and we bring some knowledge into your life every single week, could you do us a favor? Go to Apple Podcast and hit subscribe. Download a few of the podcast episodes onto your phone. Apple's algorithm loves seeing downloads and it loves seeing those subscribes. And please leave us an honest review over on Apple Podcast. That'll help us grow the show, expand the mission, and reach more people so that we can help them change their family's future as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.